Hi, this is my last material review, and it's going to be on sorry social work documentation book. The chapter we had to read was chapter 12, which is the last chapter, and it's on the field of documentation. So basically, the important factors that I took out of this is that different clients or agencies have different technology, and technology is starting to grow big into the social work field as far as keeping records of certain things and keeping data of when a client had came in or assessment on a client and things like that. um, I didn't really find anything confusing about this chapter. But what I did find beneficial about the chapter was that um, it's very good to know that um, with the technology that is growing, so is the social work agency. A lot of people like me, young people who's coming into this profession is already they already know the technology. So for it, it'll be an easier transition for them to just jump right in than going back to writing on with pens and papers, which in college we never really had to do that. Everything was by computer. So I think that'll make a really good transition from college to, in the real world field. Okay. Our next book we had to read was The Days in Our Life of a Social Worker. And we had to read the part on disability, which was chapter 21 and 22. So, chapter 21, developmental disabilities. Um, in the on the last page of this book, 117, the client actually says something really, really important that I really found that was really like interesting, and which was um, that you need to let the parents make the decisions on their disability, their child with disability, and that going into this profession, you have to have a very open mind because there's a lot of people who look and at their children as what is the word they use? Well, I'm just use different. So you have a lot of people who treat their children different and look at their children different, and they have to deal with that every day. And the point of a social worker is to help the parent get and the child get through that. And I, she just brought up a good point that if you're not comfortable with this profession and being around children with disabilities or anybody with disabilities, this is not the profession for you. And I thought that was really important just to let people who read this book know when going into this profession. As far as finding anything confusing, I really didn't find anything confusing. I really liked this chapter and her story. And how did I find it beneficial? Like I said, it really opened up my eyes to just think like, um, would I be able to handle working with a disability child? How would I react personally to working with a disability child? I have a disability brother, but he's not wheelchair bound or he can, do things for himself. So that really just made me, wonder or think or even um, think about selecting this, profession as a career for me. So next chapter is on 22, and it is us becoming them. Um, I thought the story was really interesting because here we have a social worker who works with disability children that went through a stroke and now is disability have a disability herself. Um, I find